Hey Gemini, what's going on? We are here with a timeless reading. Welcome. The first card that we have out is Strength. I was also seeing this in the pre-shuffle. Okay, I'm seeing Strength and I'm seeing Six of Wands on the bottom of the deck. What this means is that if you stick something out, you can find that you get a wanted result. Can be more in depth than that, but that's immediately what I'm getting from this. Something that you've been working at, something you've been working on. It may not feel easy for you to keep going. So I'm seeing Eight of Pentacles come up here. Having Eight of Pentacles, this is about you sticking with something, you doing something. There's a sense of commitment there. There's a sense of, I don't know, it's been like worth it for you to continue investing when we have that Eight of Pentacles there. But for some reason it can be feeling difficult right now. For some reason it can be feeling challenging right now. So stuff is coming up that can be creating some, I don't know, some like trouble, I guess you could say. Like it can be really hard to keep at something at this point. But I'm seeing a win here for you. That Six of Wands is coming out here. I think you don't see that yet. Okay. Strength is here. Strength is connected with Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords is going to be something that is something that you've been dealing with on a mental level, and you can feel like it's just so much that it's hard to see your way out of it. You can feel kind of like mentally beaten down because of this. This can be where strength is needed. This can be where heart is needed. This can be where hope is needed. But I feel like this is more of a things are difficult, still following your heart anyway, because that is what you feel you need to be doing here, and being tapped into that part of yourself, the part of you that maneuvers through situations such as this. After Ten of Swords comes out, I'm seeing we have Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands is about moving forward, but I even feel like after something difficult comes to terms, that then immediately after it feels like a lot of progress is made, or it feels like now this is over and I feel a strong sense of direction that maybe wasn't there before. Like something picking up speed. But then you can kind of feel like your mind is going in two different directions. I'm seeing Two of Swords and I'm seeing Five of Swords. This is like a conflict that needs to be worked out. I definitely would say that this can be, generally when we see the Five of Swords, it's that something needs to be addressed, something needs to be mended, something needs to be worked out. And then that is going to clarify your vision here. It's going to clarify your understanding of things, your just ability to see clearly, most of all. So you feel like you're really working with a clear state of mind, a clear perception. So different options are available to you, different avenues, different routes. I'm seeing us end this part of the spread with Five of Wands. Having Five of Wands, you can feel sort of pulled in different directions. And there can be a part of you that's saying this. There can be a part of you that wants to do that. Then there's something else coming up within you that's like, no, go in this direction. And it can just feel kind of chaotic. And then having strength is about you, I think, really working with this part of yourself that can feel a bit congested right now. It feels kind of like a bunch of stuff that's popping up, and then confusion because of that, because instead of things feeling like super simple, it feels like it's become really complicated. And you can also have different perspectives for different reasons too, and be trying to get to the purest understanding of what's in front of you to feel it out, and to then be able to go in the direction that you want to go in. I kind of feel like once one match is lit, it's close enough to everything else that it sort of all combusts in a way. And it feels like that is going to light the way for you. It's like some type of spark or catalyst is needed here, I think, to clarify things. Maybe you utilize it as an organizing principle of some sort, if there is chaos and disorganization. Okay, we have Page of Swords and we have High Priestess. I'd say that this is a tuning in and a checking in that you're doing, where you're trying to find answers, where you're connecting with your higher self, you're connecting with your moon energy, with how you feel, with what you're seeing, and trying to make sense of it. Feels like the part of you that wants to gather information, especially in order to bring things to the front cognitively for yourself, is tuning in with the part of yourself that it doesn't communicate with you in words, but it communicates with you in feelings, and making sense of that. I also feel like every time we're getting closer to something being resolved, it's like more stuff pops up. And I wonder if that's also the feeling too. Some of you can also be having a conversation that's difficult to have and trying to remain steadfast, and I think really allegiant to what you're feeling and loyal to what you're feeling. Your sense of feeling is going to give you direction, and I think help you complete the sentiment here. We have Knight of Pentacles. This is going to be the part of you that you care about the choices that you're making, and you don't want to be making choices that you feel like you do it and then it's inconsequential. The part of you that's the Knight of Pentacles, you want to be making choices that you feel it's doing something, like it's connected with something, and like you're going somewhere, and it creates stability within your life ultimately, or it allows you to accrue things of value within your life. Having that Five of Swords be connected with it, there can be something going on where there is like a desire. This doesn't come from your higher self, it comes from another part of yourself. There is a part of you that gets like activated within this situation, and I think wants to make a move from like a defensive place or like an offensive place. It's definitely like a war mentality, if we're gonna look at it like that. Meaning that this can be something where there's a like making a choice through like avoidance or through fear or through separation, or because of not wanting to get hurt, we can say, when we have the Five of Swords there, or not wanting to do like unnecessary damage as well. But I'd say that the Five of Swords is kind of opposite to the Strength card, because Five of Swords is going to be like, let me try to even match energy here so I don't get bested in some type of way, because I'm looking at it from that perspective of ego. Versus when we have Strength there, this is about, so what this means is that there can be I'm feeling triggered right now by something that's going on here, and so that part of me that sort of goes to war when this is happening is activated and wants to be in charge of sort of the plan for action here, making moves here. You have to work with that part of yourself. So it's like that mentality versus when we have Strength, this is I don't know if it's like still considered a mentality, but it's really about what you are feeling in your heart, what you feel connected with, and being loyal to that, because it is your divine nature. Because like Strength, that part of your core, it's so strong, it's so prominent because it is connected with your heart. And so having something go on that's somewhat disconnected from the heart for survival reasons, it's having to work with that part of yourself. And that part of you can be saying like, hey, this should be the plan, this is what we should do. And then the part of you that rests within the Strength of your heart can be like, no, this is the plan and this is what we should do. And now these parts are sort of trying to work something out with one another. And so that's what's happening here with this. What I am seeing is that I'm seeing you're going to be moving through the brush. It feels like it begins in a way that feels very dense and it can be difficult to see the light. And then it feels like as your perspective becomes elevated, meaning I feel like there's more of a bird's eye view here, more of an ability to see things, like the bigger perspective here. It feels like it becomes less and less complicated. And then once you get to a place where this isn't like, I think, clouding the vision anymore, there's an ability to see from a liberated perspective that wasn't necessarily there before. But this can be some really complicated stuff that you're moving through just because of how complex feelings are and thoughts are, and moving through a process of that nature. But I'm seeing actually rather quickly you moving through this. It just feels like something needed to spark that for you. Like there was a necessity for a catalyst here to spark this and then light the way. And once that happens, it feels like very quickly you transcend this. And transcend not in a way where there's bypassing. It's like transcending because you are working through this and working it out. And so it's not, you're not like tethered to something that is the opposite of you being, it's like you're not tethered to being contained anymore. There's that sense of liberation once we get to the top part of this. So that's where I'm seeing the direction be going in. But it can feel difficult because when we have that Ten of Swords, it can be this stuff that happens that it puts like so many thoughts in your head, and you can feel like you can't see straight just because of like how much is going on the inside, like what you're thinking and what you're feeling, and that it feels like there's so much noise. And then wanting to move forward and even wanting to take some of that and use it as fuel to move forward, but then feel like something about that isn't totally cohesive, and then there being that feeling of conflict. The thing that's not cohesive is, again, coming back to this like dual perspective, where there's the one perspective that comes from the part of you that can be feeling triggered or can be trying to like keep you safe or not wanting you to get hurt, or saying like, hey, we should play it like this, like more strategically, but from a place of ego. I think from a place of pain, really from a place of fear. And then that other part of you that's like, no, I want to do this, where I'm like really feeling really in touch with my heart, and then choose from there and then make moves from there. And this whole thing that's being worked out here, it's like when you feel like your mind is sort of split seeing like which of these narratives you identify with more, or that you want to identify with more, or that you want to be most motivated by. Because it's not saying that the perspective of the triggered ego is not a valid one. However, you can get to that point where you're asking yourself, is that what I want to be motivating this choice that I make here? And so it allows you to overall have the autonomy to make that decision at the end of the day. And so you get to be the one that's choosing. Because I do feel like this part of you sort of comes online with a bit of an agenda here, but it's one that's sort of murky, and it feels like it's one that's stressed out a bit, and that can be part of what triggers this as well. And then that part of you that's like, I need to make sense of all of this. It feels like the part of you that's sort of the librarian of your thoughts. You get like thrown a bunch of different pages, a bunch of different books, and you have to sort of put them all in order and read it all out and make sense of it and sort of organize everything, when it's like difficult to do that initially. Like I kind of see just this lump of something getting thrown in front of you, and you have to figure it out before you move forward. And so it feels like that's what's going on here. And I feel too like you may not have like necessarily a system for organizing this, and that's where you have to tune into that part of yourself that does have that organizing principle, but it may not be so obvious in making sense of it in that way. And so it's like layered and complicated because of that as well. The card that we have on the bottom of the deck is the Page of Cups. Page of Cups is about tuning in. Page of Cups is about connecting with your intuition, connecting with your feelings, and then taking action based off of that. But it's more about feeling everything out first before prematurely doing something, and that being important. And also too, if you just, archetypally speaking, we have Leo here and we have the moon here. The moon is going to be connected with your experience, with how you're feeling about all of this, with what's going on in your head in relation to everything. And then you have like these two different sides of the Leo energy, which one of them is going to be heart-led and the other one can be more from an ego space being led. Like, I'm not getting the attention that I want, or I'm not getting the recognition that I want, or even on an internal level, it can come down to your own self-expression and what's motivating you to express, what's motivating you to emote what you are emoting. I do feel like Leo is a powerful sign because it can be difficult to work with, as the sun shines so brightly and it gives that warmth and it is connected with the love and with the soul. And also too, because it's a powerful energy, the sun is also malefic energy. And so with all of that power, there comes that responsibility, especially tuning into what's motivating choices and actions that are being made. Because like Leo moon, when you think about it, can be performing these very, very dramatic actions and behaviors, and all of us have that capacity within us to really go on that side of things where things become very over the top and very theatrical, when maybe that may not be the best option here, but it's because of that like deep sense of internal passion that we experience. Like, I feel too, like those of you that can maybe more easily or more readily understand this, like if you have sun aspecting your moon in some way, or you have your moon in the 5th house, or you have Leo moon, it can be very easy to tap into that type of energy. And it's about finding that line between like, am I performing a play that I want to be performing right now? And like, am I liking the character that I'm playing right now? Or is this just more so attention seeking? Or is this coming from a less genuine place within me? And having to figure that out. Because Leo is also going to be these like really big feelings that you have too, and the really big like stuff that's going on that can really push you to have like an outburst of some sort. And I think like before you do something where you can't really like backtrack or backpedal from that, it's about making sense of all of this so you can move forward feeling like, again, you are motivated by what you want to be motivated by. Like, is this just to be like theatrical, over the top, bossy even, as Leo can be? Or is this coming from a place where you're in control of yourself, or like knowing yourself, or really getting to the bottom of like what's triggering you or why you're feeling what you're feeling? Like, is it just a reaction, or is this something that feels like a more meditative understanding of what you're feeling and then aware of how you're moving forward? And really getting to the bottom of that. Definitely isn't an easy time. I'm seeing some big stuff that's coming up that's meant to be dealt with. Nonetheless, it does very much feel like you end up coming to a place where there is a conclusive understanding of what's going on, because it's being organized and broken down, and feeling like you get closer to the truth here within this movement. I wonder too if there's something going on. Seeing this Knight of Pentacles and seeing the Ten of Wands, you can feel like there are moves that you have to make or steps that you have to take, but it can just feel like a lot is going on, or there's a lot of pressure, there's a lot of stress. That can be part of things too. Like, there can be a need to be organized here, and there can be a need to prioritize as well. I almost get that feeling too. Whenever we have strength, and I want to leave it on this note, whenever we have strength, it shows that something challenging, something difficult is happening. And it can be like externally, this is difficult, it can be internally, this is difficult, but it's going to, in some way, shape, or form, be about your willpower and how you are sort of wielding that. What you are willing to come to fruition, and what energy you're channeling as well. And having that moon here, it feels like connecting with what really feels most genuine and authentic. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.